I can, and if I can, I'll be happy to take comments for Congresswoman Gabbard and pass them on to you. So.
Well, first we want to thank her for doing the town hall or Congress on Your Corner, as she calls it.
Yes.
You know, it was hastily done, but we appreciate her doing it, and many of us were there.
Good. I did see you there.
Yeah,
I
was there. Huyen was there with the baby.
That's right. I remember you had a question. Yes. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Emerson was there.
Yeah.
You were there.
I remember you too. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you for coming out. I know it was a long way, so we appreciate it. Yeah.
It's nice going over there.
It is. It's beautiful. I love it.
It's beautiful over there. And so we're going to ask town hall in April, so we don't have to go through, you know, where's Tulsi again. If she could schedule a town hall, we would appreciate it. We're just going to ask every week, and until something is on the schedule that hopefully we can attend.
And we will let you know as soon as something is scheduled. We will put that out via email newsletter. We will put that out via Facebook and Twitter. Great. So all of the constituents will be aware. So.
Is she planning to hold public events in April?
She will be planning public events. I don't have any dates confirmed yet. So, but again, as soon as we can get dates, we'll make sure.
Can we get confirmation that she'll give us 5 business days notice?
I will pass that along.
That was a real request, though.
I know. I take that as a real request, and I'll pass it along. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the?
Sure.
Women's
We
March?
have another friend, and we've got a group over at Colleen Hanabusa's office right now as well. And one of the members there has been organizing a women's march huddle at St. Mary's in Mo'ili'ili, and so she's also been thinking about organizing a town hall event there herself and inviting all the members of Congress to that. Okay. So again, she's just starting to think about planning as well, but we'll keep you all updated for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thinking behind that, as I know you know from watching the coverage nationally, is for members of Congress that aren't holding town hall meetings, people who are resisting the Trump administration are calling their own and inviting the members to come. And sometimes they do, which is fabulous, but when they don't, then they end up talking about all the issues and the concerns. And it's a nice TV moment for the resistance, but it's not a great moment for the member of Congress. You know, and I appreciated even Cotton from Arkansas, who had the one that made all the viral clips where you had 2,200 people in an auditorium screaming at him. But even he said, you know, anytime I can get in front of 2,200 constituents, even if they're screaming at me, you can't turn that down.
Yeah, he did get hammered.
He got hammered. But he showed up.
Yeah,
and you know,
and
I give him credit for showing up.
Yeah.
And we give her credit for showing up on Saturday.
Thank you.
And I hope you'll pass that along.
Definitely. Thank you.
And thank her for the bill, right? The Nadler.
Yeah, and high five her for signing on with the Nadler thing. She told us she would, and she did. She made good on her promise.
Yes, we're very impressed with that. And
Yeah.
I guess the vote went the wrong way, but it's important that that vote continues to be brought up and people take a stand and be counted as, will we have the views or the positions of our presidents known and the conflict shown, and that was a good start, and we urge her to continue with the rest of the Democrats and others.
Thank you. I'll pass that along.
Do you want to talk about the EO?
Sure. One of our other main concerns today is the rescinding of protections for transgender people, transgender students in particular. Many of us have friends, relatives, people we care about who are trans or gender nonconforming, and so I teach at UH. I have a number of trans students. I'm just definitely, you know, all of us are very concerned about the idea of Trump singling out groups that are the most vulnerable, whether this is immigrants, trans people, all kinds of religious minorities. I mean, you could just keep listing. And so we really hope that as the Congresswoman is doing her best to protect groups that she is very committed to protecting, that she'll widen that to include people who are the most vulnerable in the country in general, and especially here in Hawaii.
And again, I agree with what you say, but I come at it the law and order position. Trump did not rescind the requirements of Title IX.
Exactly.
They are federal requirements, and states and other groups don't have the choice to obey the federal law that has long been established.
Agreed.
So
very much so.
Again, so he, you know, the federal law was not rescinded by that.
Right, he rescinded the advice from
The
the federal
advice is how
government
to comply with the federal.
And
we would-
argues that
we
it's
would
not,
argue,
it's
and
not a
again,
Title IX issue.
Right.
we
Yeah.
feel very strongly for law and order and ask for that continued support to
And Gil's point
respect
about
the law.
Title IX is so true. I mean, Patsy Mink, for God's sakes, brought us Title IX. Title IX came from Hawaii, and we will forever be grateful for that. And to throw sand in the face of it, to suddenly start trying to yank that carpet out from under people who have been so long marginalized is offensive. And I think it's particularly offensive for Hawaii, where Title IX originated, you know, so. The other issue we want to talk about, and it's a broken record, but we're going to keep breaking it, is the repealing the Affordable Care Act. Cannot happen, and we want to see her be loud and proud on that one as well. I'm a breast cancer survivor, single mom. Only way we have health insurance is Obamacare, and it has literally saved our family's life. That can't go away, because I don't think I could get insurance any other way. And I know I'm not the only one in here that we've had, we've had physicians, and we've got a physician here today from Kapiolani. You want to tell your story?
Well, I was just mentioning how impressed I was by some of the state regulations actually about Medicaid eligibility, which are not federal. I've recently moved here about a year ago, and I've had a couple of patients who were neither citizens nor nationals, who were young children from another country with complex medical conditions, sort of the kind that you need to not have a lifetime cap for, the kind of thing most of us in the room, other than me, aren't even familiar with. Technology dependence, feeding through a tube, you know, chronic seizures, that sort of thing. And these kids were actually applied for emergency Medicaid with assistance of our hospital social worker, and were accepted onto the program, and so we're able to get the same Quest insurance that our local kids get. And I was so impressed, and so just gave me real hope in humanity to see that here in Hawaii we're willing to take care of kids who are neither born here nor from American parents, but we still say this is an innocent child in need and we're gonna take care of them. So that was really meaningful to me. And of course all of our local kids, whether, you know, there are so many immigrant groups here in a very different situation from how it is on the mainland. You know, we're not dealing with very many people who come from Mexico or El Salvador, but our Marshallese kids, our Chukis kids, our kids from Pohnpei, they need these programs too, and we can't be taking those things away.
You probably know, you may know, Congresswoman Gabbard voted against the bill that moved the way to repeal the Affordable Care Act. So
Great.
I want to say one more thing about that. So I'm an entrepreneur. I started my own company in my basement, and I know a lot of other people who've done that. I'm not in my basement anymore. We've got a large office here and a large office in California, and salespeople all over the world. I know a lot of people who would have liked to start their own company, but prior to ACA, if you had diabetes, you couldn't do it. Because you could not go out as a single person who wasn't part of a group with diabetes or a pre-existing heart condition and get health insurance. So you were stuck. And so ACA has a big impact, not just on the underrepresented group, but also on entrepreneurs, on business people, on the whole business community. It's very important.
And again, block grants and high-risk death pools are just another way that these people will be let down and let to die. You need to be very clear that high-risk death pools and block grants are just another way to cut off help to people in need. And the scary part is it's not just the other people. Any one of us could be in those high-risk death pools, you know, so it's not the other guy. And we appreciate our Congresswoman leading that charge against any block grants, any high-risk death pools.
One of the things we've talked to her about, obviously it came up on Saturday, and we will continue to bring it up, is we were deeply, deeply troubled about Bannon, Steve Bannon, and seeing him in the Oval Office is concerning enough. the thought of him sitting at the National Security Council table is heart-stopping. So we would really love to see her get vocal and active on that, and she talked a lot about bills she's supporting and things she's introducing, but we also know her voice carries much further than legislative action as well. I mean, just speaking out on it, going on CNN and talking about, as with her military background, talking about how dangerous it is to let someone like that in that room, that carries a lot of sway.
Especially while demoting people whose jobs should have them in that room.
Exactly.
Giving
And
national security
I would
guidance.
ask her, the president, to set a good example and have everyone in the Oval Office keep their shoes on and their feet off the furniture. As we,
That was
right?
yeah.
It's talking about respect for the office.
Yesterday that Karen.
Respect's very important.
Anything else we want to cover? Have we nailed it all?
I just wanted to say one thing, because I was talking to somebody before we came up here, just how just right now things aren't business as usual. So I would just love to see, all our representatives just come out and figure out the Trump-Russia situation. It's really serious, and we need to address that. And I think if legislators say, well, I'm working on this and this and this, it's like, that's great, but this is a huge crisis. So I would love to see more support on that. You know,
Yeah.
and I know she is, but I just feel like it needs to just be more visible or more
And urgent.
urgent. Yes, thank you.
Especially for someone who is involved in the National Security Council
Yeah.
and just interested in national security is a huge part of her reputation.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
this is a right side of history moment
Yeah.
on that, and I think it's not going to be a great thing for any members of Congress who sure are working on legislation or co-sponsoring legislation, but are otherwise not saying much
Mhm.
about
Yeah.
what's happening. That's not the
Yeah.
way to be right now.
Right.
And we're really concerned.
Yeah, I think right now, our national house is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we need to know that our representatives have the hose. You know, we'll get the buckets. We're standing by with the buckets, but we need Tulsi on the hose.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, that's
It
good.
really is. And you know, I know she knows that we don't agree with her on everything. You know, a lot of us have questions about Syria. But on this, we're all in lockstep with her. And she has the background, she has the resume, she has the history to be a voice of real intellect and sway on this issue. But she has to use it. And we all, those of us who were there, saw it on Saturday. The rest of us watched the video. She's good. So when she puts her mind to it, she can change minds. We want her sponsoring bills and signing on as co-sponsors and that too, but the house is on fire.